Because when you kill Jay, you just cut off more people coming through the same door that Jay made it through. Jay's studio wasn't in Hollywood.
No.
Jay's studio wasn't in the city. It was 5 minutes from where he grew up.
When inside the studio, Lydia was in there on the floor crying. Tony Rucon was on the couch, shot, and Jay was on the floor dead.
Making my client the main suspect in this case. If he's the main suspect, he's not guilty.
King news, 2 men found guilty of murder in the killing of Run-DMC's Jam Master Jay. Jurors found Carl Jordan Jr., Jay's godson, and Ronald Washington, Jay's childhood friend, guilty on all counts.
He just dropped a bombshell about Jam Master Jay's murder. He's pointing the finger at a brand new suspect tied to the case. Think about that for a second.
No crime happens without some form of witness.
Nobody wants to see Run-DMC without Jay.
There was a perception at the time and even now that the NYPD didn't care about Jam Master Jay's murder because he was a black rapper.
It's been over 20 years since Jay was killed. And even though 2 men were convicted just last year, the story is far from finished. Jam Master Jay wasn't just some DJ. He was the heartbeat of Run-DMC, the man who changed the sound of hip-hop forever.
This hip-hop thing, man, this DJ thing, man, is bigger than hip-hop, man. I love hip-hop, though. I come from the school of hip-hop. If you love hip-hop, let me hear you say, hell yeah! Woo! Yeah. Say, hell yeah!
Hell yeah!
Jam Master Jay. Come on, what's my name? Jam Master Jay. That's how we gonna do it, y'all. Come on. What's my name? Jam Master Jay. What's my name?
Jam Master Jay.
His murder back in 2002 shook the whole culture, one of the darkest moments rap has ever seen.
Suit and scrambling boots and cops as a part of a reggae route. We got denim jeans, you gotta keep them clean. Your gear can't be dirty, do you know what I mean? You gotta dress your best, we call that fresh. Is the closet full of clothing? I must say yes.
And for years, nothing but silence. No charges, no answers, no closure. Fans thought justice would never come. Then in 2020, shock arrests hit the headlines. By 2024, we had convictions. People thought that was it. The book was finally closed. But now, out of nowhere, a fresh name is being whispered. And when it's DMC himself bringing it up, that takes this to a whole new level.
I think what Russell felt about me that made them accept me was my dress code. I was the one with the velour, with the shell-toe Adidas with no shoestrings in them, with the leather suit. The whole way that we used to dress was because of the way I dressed, you know what I mean? So the image came from Jam Master Jay, you know what I mean? The image was like, when we were imageless, we just had the music. I brought the image to the music.
So let's break it down who Jam Master Jay really was. Jason William Mizell, the world knew him as Jam Master Jay, but to hip-hop, he was the DJ, the blueprint. Born in Brooklyn, raised in Hollis, Queens, Jay picked up the turntables as a kid and never let go. He wasn't just spinning records, he was rewriting the culture. By the time he linked up with Joseph Run Simmons and Daryl DMC McDaniels, rap was still fighting its way out of the underground. But when Run-DMC hit the scene, everything changed overnight. They were the first rap group to go platinum, the first to storm MTV with heavy rotation, and the first to ink a sneaker deal with Adidas back when rappers weren't even supposed to touch corporate endorsements.
There would be no hip hop if it wasn't for the DJ. Jay was the first DJ who showed that DJs could play concerts like a rock star. If we didn't have Jay laying the music, doing the scratching, arranging everything, there would be no Run-DMC. The foundation of Run-DMC is Jay.
Come on.
Their style was legendary. Fedoras, leather jackets, no laces in the shell-toe Adidas. That wasn't just fashion, that was rebellion.
No doubt, I already put it down, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, this right here is my dog right here. 50, this the new era right here. Check my man out, 50 Sip. You know what I mean? The best and the worst thing that can happen.
And the man who stitched the image to the music was Jam Master Jay. He wasn't in the back. He was the heartbeat, the magician on the decks who turned scratching into a weapon, mixing into an art form. While Run and DMC spit bars out front, Jay stood dead center, cool as ice, holding the entire machine together.
Well, tonight, according to sources close to this investigation, 37-year-old Jason Mizell, Jam Master Jay, was working in a recording studio here in Jamaica. He and a 25-year-old male Hispanic were relaxing in a lounge near the studio when a man walked into the studio, gun drawn, and opened fire. Mizell was struck once in the head and killed instantly. The other man was seriously injured, shot once in the chest. Police have no one yet in custody.
According to DMC himself, without Jay, Run DMC would have never gone global, period. But Jay wasn't all about lights and fame. Back in Hollis, he kept it real. He built his own studio on Merrick Boulevard, a safe haven for local kids chasing dreams. He mentored up-and-coming talent, and even a young 50 Cent passed through his circle before the world knew his name.
Including the Liar Cohen, the CEO of Island Def Jam Records, gathered outside, stunned that it happened to the man who was such a huge part of hip-hop's rise and worldwide popularity, and shocked, too, that it all went down in such a brazen manner. The gunman walking in, firing, and then just casually walking out. Police believe they have good leads in this case and that witnesses got a good look at the shooter here. There's also security camera tape, we are told. Mizell was at the studio producing an album by two young women. They were in the studio when they heard gunshots. They came running, of course, but it was too late. Again, sources confirming Jam Master Jay, Jason Mizell, from the rap group Run DMC, was gunned down here about 9:15 tonight. Another man was injured, nobody yet in custody.
Jay wasn't just keeping hip-hop alive, he was pushing the culture forward. That's why his death cut so deep. He wasn't some untouchable superstar hiding behind fame. He was hands-on in the neighborhood, building bridges, feeding the next wave of talent. And to think his life was stolen inside the very studio he built for his community, that's more than tragedy. That's betrayal.
New York City detectives showing that they're the greatest detectives in the world. An incident that happened in 2002 being solved 18 years later. The relentless pursuit to bring this case to justice is absolutely incredible. And it's due to the partnerships that we have, with Eastern District prosecutors. I want to thank you for your work. Our relationships with ATF, thank you very much, was able to bring justice to a case that seemed to be going in the wrong direction, but we were able to get indictments on.
Here's what went down. On the night of October 30th, 2002, Jay was in his studio on Merrick Boulevard, Jamaica, Queens. It was his sanctuary, the one place meant for music and mentorship. But around 9 p.m., the nightmare hit. Armed men stormed in and opened fire. Jay was shot at point-blank range and killed instantly. Another man in the room was hit but survived the chaos. Just like that, one of hip-hop's purest icons was taken in cold blood, inside his own neighborhood, his own safe space. And this wasn't some random act of violence. No, this was calculated, chilling. Multiple people were present. Witnesses caught fragments of the horror, yet the killers vanished into the night like ghosts. The fallout was instant. Run DMC, the group that broke barriers, slowed to a halt. The entire culture went into mourning. Fans, friends, and fellow artists were left stunned, scrambling to process the brutal reality that Jam Master Jay, the man who gave so much, was gone forever.
Somewhere out there in the early social media, when Jay got shot and killed, everybody was disgusted. I was disgusted. Everybody was hurt. I was hurt. But then I put up, this is funny, because I don't have like 50 million followers like Will Smith and The Rock. You know what I'm saying? Rightfully so. These guys are Hollywood, this and everything.
Right.
But, you know, I put, I'm not mad at the guy that shot Jason. Oh, I should have never did that, Pascal.
Oh my God.
They cursed me, bro.
I was about to say.
So then I had to, hold on. Let me clarify what I'm saying. I'm not mad at the individual. He's not my fight. And everybody said, oh yeah, we get you. I said, my fight and my anger is at the mindset that will cause the individual to do that.
Right.
Oh yeah, okay, now what you doing there? Because when you kill Jay, you just cut off more people coming through the same door that Jay made it through. Jay's studio wasn't in Hollywood.
No.
Jay's studio wasn't in the city. It was 5 minutes from where he grew up.
That's crazy.
The very thing Jay escaped from, he went back to Florida again, is the very thing, not the person, the mindset that killed him.
For nearly 2 decades, the case stayed frozen in time. Rumors floated, theories stacked, leads went nowhere. Witnesses whispered pieces of the truth, but nothing concrete ever stuck. And over the years, heartbreak turned into despair as people feared Jay's murder would end up like so many other hip-hop tragedies.
By staying in Queens, Jay never separated himself from the negative elements close to hip-hop, especially in our neighborhood. In Queens, the drug dealers were the first people to have real money. Hip-hop was a hobby, just something to do with your homies on the stoop or in the park. The cash was in selling drugs. Jay's generation was inspired by what the drug dealers had. Nice clothes, fly cars, and beautiful women on their arms. The peak coats and Godfather hats that Jay helped make famous with Run-DMC, that's what he saw the dealers wearing. Same with the gold chains Run-DMC and later LL Cool J helped popularize. They represented drug dealer fashion before they became hip-hop. Today, the opposite is true. Rappers can make way more money than drug dealers, thanks in no small part to the path of early pioneers like Jam Master Jay helped blaze. Jay's mistake was he didn't keep moving forward. If he followed Run, Russell, and DMC to Jersey, Long Island, or Manhattan, I have no doubt he'd still be alive today. Instead, he stayed too close to the wrong kind of people. People who not only didn't have his best interests at heart, but were actually jealous of his famous success.
After 2 decades of silence, rumors, and pain, the case finally cracked open in 2020. Out of nowhere, police made their first arrests. 2 men tied directly to Jam Master Jay's world. And the names? Jaw-dropping. His own godson, Carl Jordan Jr., and his childhood friend, Ronald Washington. The hip-hop community was stunned. How could the very people closest to Jay be accused of pulling the trigger? For years, fans had accepted that justice might never come. But suddenly, the headlines screamed progress, and investigators bragged that they had finally solved one of hip-hop's darkest cold cases. These arrests didn't come overnight. Detectives spent years stacking tips, flipping witness statements, and piecing together evidence until everything pointed straight at Jordan and Washington. And the alleged motive? A drug deal gone bad. By February 2024, both men were found guilty of murder. Prosecutors spared them the death penalty, but the guilty verdicts rocked the culture all the same. Court testimony was explosive. A key eyewitness, Ralph Mulgrave, a convicted dealer, told the jury that Jam Master Jay had dipped into the drug trade just to stay afloat. According to Mulgrave, Jay would sometimes call him to move a kilo or 2, but stressed that Jay wasn't living that life. He was simply trying to cover bills when the music money slowed down. That revelation shocked fans who always saw Jay as the community builder, not a hustler. So legally, the convictions brought closure, but spiritually, something still felt unfinished, and then it got even more complicated. In May 2023, yet another name surfaced, Jay Bryant. Prosecutors claim he was spotted entering the studio building that fateful night, and DNA evidence tied him to the scene. Unlike Jordan and Washington, Jay Bryant's name didn't come up in the first wave of indictments, which is exactly why his involvement feels like a whole new chapter in this dark story. And this is where DMC's revelation hits different, because for him, Bryant's connection isn't just some courtroom technicality, it's personal. This is another man tied to Jay's death, someone who might have been circling in the shadows the entire time. DMC made it clear his anger isn't only at the triggerman, it's at the toxic mindset that allowed Jam Master Jay to be gunned down by people from his own community. That stings even more when you realize Jay dedicated his life to building up that same community. Some fans didn't like hearing DMC say that, but when you really break it down, it makes sense. Look at Nipsey Hussle. He was creating businesses, empowering his block, and still got taken out by envy and jealousy. Same energy. Even 50 Cent once admitted that Jay's decision to keep his old crew close was a deadly mistake. Loyalty can turn lethal when envy creeps in. But here's the thing. 2 convictions later, the story is still not finished. Jay Bryant's case adds another layer of mystery and raises fresh questions that haven't been answered. Why does he matter so much? Because his trial is coming up and prosecutors claim he wasn't just nearby, he actually helped give the killers access to the studio. If that's true, this wasn't random violence at all. This was setup, planning, betrayal on another level. This case isn't just some piece of hip-hop history, it's still unfolding right now. And at the heart of it, this isn't just about crime, it's about betrayal. Jam Master Jay wasn't taken out by random strangers. He was set up by people he trusted, his own godson, his childhood friend, and maybe even others we still don't know about. That's why DMC's words hit so hard. He's not just naming names, he's pulling the curtain back on how deep this betrayal really went. The trust Jay had in his circle was flipped against him, turned into the very weapon that ended his life. And the scariest part? This pattern hasn't stopped. We're still watching talented artists, leaders, and culture shifters get taken out by the same poison mindset of jealousy and envy that DMC warned about. So now I want to hear from you. Do you believe Jay Bryant is the missing piece to Jam Master Jay's murder? Or are there still bigger names out there that haven't surfaced yet? And do you agree with DMC that the real enemy isn't just the shooters, but the mentality that made them pull the trigger in the first place? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and don't forget to subscribe because the next story is one you don't want to miss. See you in the next one.